Good afternoon, Patriots. Today's episode is brought to you by two letters, A and R. No, I'm not talking about the pew-pews. I'm talking about A for accountability and R for rigor. So, let's get started. Okay. Teaching any subject for any lesson, you gotta have accountability. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, we'll just homeschool our kids. Yay, hooray, the kids are home, they're in the family, your unit is together, your kids are away from all the Marxist doctrine. That's fantastic. Great first step. However, that does not mean you can be lazy on accountability. You have to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable, and you gotta make sure you're holding your students accountable. Yes, they are your kids. And yes, they could be other people's kids too. Especially if you're doing like a co-op type of setup. But the point is, you gotta have accountability. What does that look like? Well, that is tied into the next word, R, for rigor. What is rigor? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean make things harder. What it means is increase the meaningfulness of the work, whether it be content covered in the classroom or assignments that the student does on their own. The work has to be rigorous. It has to test the student's critical thinking skills, okay? It can't just be you give them the answer, no, that's not rigorous. The student has to be challenged. Now, don't make it unrealistic, but give your students enough rigor. That way, when you hold them accountable, they can show whether they did the work, or if they struggle with it, or if they just need some help, or if they didn't do the work. I also hold you accountable because as a teacher, it's one thing to have a homeschooling environment with good, strong, credible sources that is rigorous. It's easy to have that and hold yourself accountable because the standard is already set pretty high. But if you don't have a high standard of rigor, then it's easier to not hold yourself accountable. And then one thing will lead to another, and then all the work that you do getting to this point will be for naught. Now, every state has their own standards, has their own requirements for being a homeschooling parent. So make sure, again, you check out what your state requires. But regardless of what state you're in, you always gotta ask yourself, am I holding myself accountable? On those days where I really don't feel like teaching, are you pushing through those days and saying, no, I gotta do this? When your students aren't being held accountable, they would much better just hang out, have fun, instead of actually learn something, then what's the point? Okay? If the work is not rigorous enough to actually test their critical thinking skills, then what's the point? Again, it's great to take them out of a Marxist environment, but if you don't hold yourself accountable and provide a better environment, then you're wasting your time, you're wasting your students' time, and in the end, you're right back where you started, lost. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is to provide hope and guidance and some little bits of humor and history dashed throughout. Okay, but the channel is meant to do all of that and help you not be lost. Okay, so I'm exhausted, I'm tired, it's been a long week. I will start working on this week's nature mockumentary tomorrow. I will do that. I will get caught up on the comments. Again, I'm holding myself accountable. Okay, iron sharpens iron. I will get this video done this weekend. It will happen. So, love you all. Have a wonderful day. This Constitution Vet coming to you live in the field, going home, taking a break, signing out.